Hello, I'm Lakon from Turnstone, and what I'm going to do today is walk you through our brand new iPad app. We've just launched it. It's now in the App Store. It's free. It's available to download. It's there. And yeah, please go there and download it today. All you have to do is type in Turnstone into the search bar and it'll come right up. So following this conversation, what I'm actually going to do is walk you through using a screencast. And so you won't see my face anymore, but what you'll hear is a lot of voiceover and walk you through all the key features of the app. But before we get just there, I want to spend a few minutes just talking about why we did an iPad app, why we chose the iPad, and ultimately how we think it can be of benefit to you. So why the iPad? As many of you, I'm sure, who have one today have found, the battery life is incredible. It's a small, thin, light, easy device that essentially you can take anywhere you need to. And so as a sales tool that you can carry with you all the time, 10 hours of battery life, we haven't found another tool that can support a sales process as well as the iPad seems to be able to do. Plus, of course, the touch feature makes it so easy and approachable that almost anybody can figure it out, from a kid to people more mature. And so the iPad, for us, has become sort of an interesting platform that we hope to invest time and effort with over the next couple of years. The way we've built this iPad app is really as a sales tool. Basically, it's a digital brochure that's supposed to support a sales cycle. And so it's a tool built for you and for customers alike to be able to use at different parts, either maybe in the beginning when you're just browsing and trying to get an idea for what you might react to. It's also a great tool when you're live in front of a customer trying to make decisions about layouts and try to get a sense for what they would want. And so you'll see some features in there that we call a digital napkin sketch. It's this idea of moving pieces around, moving furniture pieces around, and letting the customer be part of that dialogue. And then the goal with this version of the app is really to put something in front of you that we hope you will adopt and take and use throughout your sales cycle. We're already improving on it, so later on this summer you'll be seeing some cool new exciting features that will be launched probably in the August-September timeframe. And then we've got a long roadmap ahead that we hope to continuously invest in. But in order to do that, we need your feedback, we need you to adopt it, and we need you to use it. And so one of the things we hope is that you'll continuously give us feedback. We'll be out in the market talking to you to get more feedback, and we hope you'll shoot us notes when things work, when they don't, other apps that you've found that you really like, and that you'd like us to sort of incorporate some of those features. We're totally open to it. So as a first trial, we hope you love the app, and we'd love to get more feedback from you. Thank you. So once you've downloaded the Turnstone iPad app, what you want to do is find the familiar Turnstone bird logo icon. Click on that and it'll get you right into the app. Now what you'll find are 4 tabs at the bottom. These are the way the app is classified: under Shop, Ideas and Advice, Plan My Space, and Find Us. So before we jump into the Shop section here, let me just make one pitch to you, which is when you get a chance, spend time in the app, become familiar with it. There's a lot to be discovered. It's not a difficult app at all. It's pretty simple and intuitive to use, but you want to make sure you become familiar with it so when you're in front of your customer, it's like second nature to you. But let's go ahead and jump in. When you go into the Shop section, there are basically 2 ways to shop, either by products or by settings. You can see Meet Mingle Escape settings, and then you see all the different products settings as well. There's also a grid view that I'll show you in a second, as well as favorites. But we'll go into the chair section. As you can see at the bottom here, you have all the different chairs that we have available. We'll go ahead and click into one familiar, which is the Kobe chair. You can actually click on Customize to see all the different colors that are available for the chair. And when you go in, you can actually click on additional information when you click on More Info to see additional info. We have images or videos. There's a nice 3D view where you can actually see a 3D model of the product. And again, you can completely rotate it around and see every detail that you might be interested in. And then we actually show you every setting that includes that particular chair being used in it as well. Now you notice I mentioned there was a favorites button. Now if you notice, there's actually a blue star here, which means these items have actually been added to our favorites. I can actually go ahead and click on remove, and if you notice, it's not highlighted anymore. So I can actually click back for a second here and go back into my products and pick a table, for example. And again, I can go ahead and add that to my favorites. So I'll show you 2 quick views and then we'll be done with the Shop section. So when I go into the grid view, I see every product or setting that is available in the app. I can go ahead and swipe left or right to see additional ones. And if you notice, these items that have the blue stars were added to my favorites. And so I can go down here and go back into favorites and see all of the items that I've been adding to my favorites as I've played through the app. Now, I will mention one last thing for you here, which is this cart feature. Now, I should mention to you, 95% of what's in the app does not need the internet for it to work. There are a couple of places where we do have to hook into the internet for you to get full functionality. So if you're out with lunch, out over lunch with a client using the app, you probably don't want to use these sections like the shopping cart, because that is an area where what it's doing is it's actually pulling up the Turnstone website. And so unless you know that you have web access, you probably don't want to invoke that particular section. But almost everything else I'm talking about and showing you here works without the internet. So we'll go ahead and jump into the second section, which is ideas and advice. What we've done here is collapsed a lot of information and made it really digestible for a customer, so that they would understand why space matters. This whole Discover section is essentially what you would recognize as a Harder Working Spaces presentation, just digested in a way for a small business. The Plan section is a collection of articles that help people begin to think about how to plan spaces. If you go into Select, it's giving them advice about how to go ahead and select furniture, think about power, and all the other things that they might need to think about. And then Finalize is really where they start to understand how to place an order, what to expect in terms of delivery times, and all the different things around installing furniture and things like that. The Plan My Space section is really interesting and a fun tool that we've added. It's what we're calling a digital napkin sketch. The idea with this section is to get people, again, away from thinking about space in a very abstract way, and actually start looking at either sample settings where they can start to move things around in a very simple and intuitive way, and start to get their ideas out of their heads and onto paper, quote unquote. It's really digital paper in this case, but it's paper nonetheless. And the idea is you can actually have somebody sitting here with you, and they can actually collaborate with you as you move things around, so that you don't have to wait till when you have AutoCAD or Smart Tools or something like that. You can actually do it right on the iPad. Again, this isn't meant to replace one of those tools. It's just a quick and easy way to sit there with a potential client or by yourself, just to get some ideas about placement and layouts of furniture. Now, what's interesting here is we've actually added a couple of other features here that I'm going to show you really quickly. I'm going to do this test and save that. And so there's the setting I just created. If you notice, I have a top-down view of it. And then what you can actually do is go into this PDF view and see it completely priced out, ready in a way where you can actually go ahead and send it to a client. You can actually go ahead and click on the share link and go ahead and send that off to a client. But again, the idea here is to get you away from planning in a very abstract way with paper and pencil, and really democratizing that decision making, so that you can sit and collaborate with a client right there. You could even hand them the iPad and have them begin to direct part of that conversation. And then the last tab on here is the Find Us tab. When you click on that, what you'll get is a map view that begins to, it'll use GPS to try to find out exactly where you are. It shows settings for what we call our third spaces. We only have them primarily in San Francisco, Boston, and Austin to start. And then a growing list of dealers. And there's more information on the Into site on how to make sure you get listed in the iPad app. But basically what happens here is by GPS it shows you the closest dealers to where you are. Or you can go to a list view and see all the additional dealers that are listed in there, as well as our third space locations. If you click on one of these images, if you click on one of these bird logos, you can actually go ahead and get to the dealer's website directly. So for example, this is one workplace out in San Francisco, and you can actually make an appointment to go visit, or a customer could actually get directions. And so what it's doing here is it'll actually load up the map section in the iPad and show them how to get there. So that was a super quick view of the Turnstone iPad app. Again, there's a ton here to be discovered. This was just a quick view to give you a quick taste of what it is. and yeah, and get you excited to download it and give it a whirl yourself.